Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and today is New Comic Book Day for DC Comics, so we're going to talk about something new, and something that I went to first, because I was like, okay, this is either going to be boring, or it's going to be a cringe-worthy review, right? No, I was completely wrong, and before I get into any spoilers, I want to tell you, Static Season 1, I'm not sure why they're doing the whole season thing, but that doesn't matter, is worth checking out. It is absolutely a recommend. Wow. This is done by Vita Ayla, and the art is done by Chris Cross. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Like, I was shocked at how good this was. Static Season 1 started off with a bang. Now, we're going to go into it, but there is going to be spoilers. But if this is how the Milestone Universe is beginning, I will be picking up every single one of them. That Milestone Universe 0, I reviewed it, we talked about it, and I wasn't super impressed. I was like, okay, this is weird, right? We're changing a little bit of the lore here, and it doesn't matter. This is so good. This is the Static I remember, and the art to boot really does its job. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. But if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. As always, hit like, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you're interested in Static or if he's just not a character you like. But Static is amazing. So he basically goes into the backstory. He punched, I can't even remember his name, in number 1, right? And in Infinite Edition number 0. And basically, we see now what is going to happen afterwards. He blew him up. Everybody was scared. Everybody was nervous. His friends were scared. He didn't know what to do. He changed. And he has a little bit of a disagreement with his sister, only because he's really kind of spaced out. He doesn't know what to do. He's going back to school. His sister understands. Honestly, like, I love his sister. She's, Sharon's really kind of the person that is primarily at his side and sticking up for him the whole time. I love to see that familial relationship between siblings, and they do a good job of showing it. So it does talk about what happened during the Big Bang. Alva Industries, they used the tear gas on a bunch of children. They gassed all these kids, and they watched a lot of them die. And, some of them were used as guinea pigs, and they've transformed. One of them specifically is Static. And he's gonna go through his powers, but he also talks about the other ones. The ones that also were in 0, kind of explained the whole cult mentality of the ones that the Bang Babies and the ones that got their powers and the ones that are maybe not able to be in a normal conversation. And it specifically showed the devil boy whose parents are strict Catholic. And these people have kind of been on the outside of Dakota. I guess the best way to look at it is come together as freaks. That's what they're doing, right? And they're being manipulated because of doing so. But there's also people dedicated to knowing the truth. So he returns to school. And by doing so, he knows people are talking about him. He knows that, his new nemesis, Hot Streak, is now what he is calling himself. And he's basically out for vengeance. Well, then we see his friends coming along and telling him about what's been going on at school, about Francis, about everything that, this Derek claiming he's the one that actually, got Francis, but it was him. So I can't imagine that. I don't know what's going on with this. He's the captain of the basketball team. I'm not sure if he really got powers or if he's just kind of taking ownership of what Static did. So He sees Frida, he sees his friends, and Frida's the girl he has a crush on. I love the textures. I want to point out something that they use in the coloring, and it's the art is fantastic, but the textures that they use are so cool. I think they did such a great job putting this together. So Richie and Frida all talk to him. They're not necessarily worried about him hurting them. They're more worried about Virgil. They're worried about what he's going through. And he does that whole like dude thing, right? Like men have a harder time reaching out when they need help. And he's just like, nah, I got this. I'm good. I promise. You know, that whole, they call it shadow dragon. I'm assuming they mean like, wow or something, right? He's like, yeah, we're going to do that. Make sure you bring your stuff. So he really isn't letting anyone in, again, with the textures. It's amazing. I'm like, I don't want to say too much. I love the use of the Ben-Day dots. So well done. Now, this shows before the Big Bang. And this is important because it's just a family having fun at the dinner table. It shows, you know, the closeness of the mother and father, the closeness of the brother and sister. It shows them being a family and it being silly at dinner, you know, a food fight, being goofy with each other, just kind of loving on each other like a family does when they have a normal relationship. But again, keep in mind, this was before the Big Bang. So this was before everything kind of got turned upside down and went crazy. So then it goes to after the Big Bang. Everything's a little darker, a little gloomier, and it gives you, I like this panel down here because it really shows like how close his parents are pushing in this situation. It makes you feel almost claustrophobic, right? Because his parents want to help. They want to help him. They have his best interest in mind. And his sister does too, but she also realizes that he's a man almost, right? He's 16 years old. So he can talk. If he's worried, he can talk. He can say something. He can go ahead and tell you what is wrong. And, you know, I like that about that. So then they do a flashback, and I really like how they show like the static, right? Because around him, we're seeing like, he keeps saying, it feels like there's static in the air, there's tingling, there's buzzing in my head, right? We see that now. We see what's going on with that. And then, of course, Francis shows up because he made a fool of him at school. He needs to come in and kind of show his ass. He needs to be like, yeah, I'm the man, I'm coming in. And right away, Virgil wants to get him out of the area. His family is what he's worried about, right? I love how they do this fight sequence, like to the point where you see the bottom of his shoe imprint, like some serious detail. We go through this fight sequence. We see him, he uses powers in both offensive and defensive mode. We see him kind of flash back to a class when, you know, before the Big Bang and what he was learning. And he's happy for the inventors of tomorrow that he went to this class because now he's able to use his powers in a different way because of what he learned. He kind of gets the best of him for a second and then he turns his back and just to check on his family because of course he does, right? Yeah, that's not smart. Their house is absolutely gone. Francis went from being a kid bully to being a straight up villain here. And it was so powerful. Like, I absolutely love it. And then to see Static's, you know, face here on the last page. Wow. Like, I was really impressed. This is the way to start this universe. This is the way to reintroduce this. This is a way to create, you know, not create, because it's not a new character, but to reinvent a classically good character and keep them fantastic for today. So I was quite impressed, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. Did you even pick this up? Are you interested? Let me know down below. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.